Hello, all. Good evening, and you're welcome to the first day of the first week of our training.
The world is looking for experts in cybersecurity, and Nigeria can meet this demand. Cybersecurity and data encryption are currently amongst the most in-demand skills in the world of tech. There are about 4 million job opportunities in the field of cybersecurity and data encryption. Nigerian tech company Think Cyber Nigeria Limited, an operating arm of the Israeli-based world-class cyber powerhouse Think Cyber Tel Aviv, is introducing a first-of-its-kind cyber simulator training program in Lagos, Nigeria, beginning in January 2022, giving 300 young graduates the opportunity to upskill or transition and begin their career as world-class cybersecurity experts. Take advantage of our flexible payment plan to make a leap in your career and sign up today. For further inquiries, call 0909 3771 515. Visit www.cysectph.com and apply now.
I guess I guess the rest will meet us because we have a lot to cover. Um, Once you are welcome to week one. So this week we'll be looking at Linux file system hierarchy. There's one thing actually having hands-on. There's another thing being able to communicate the language in the sector. Now, if I ask anybody here, can you explain the Linux file to me? Most of you don't know the components of the file, and it's not what you treat at that level in which we all met. So it is an in-depth training. At any day you enter any interview, somebody asks you to actually break down the Linux system. You should be able to actually tell him Linux is actually broken down into this. This is the root, this is the binary, this is the SBIN file, this is the dev, this is the temp. You understand? You knowing all those gives you a broad architecture of what Linux look like. Let me share my screen immediately, but we have a lot to do. This is what we'll be taking from the first week. And this video is actually, the training is only, it's not, the video is only available to those who have made payment. So the video is no longer automatic because we're actually ditching out content. So 1 minute. Okay. This is what you'll be looking at. Let me expand a little. So this is what the Linux system is. This is what it is. Now, if you look at these files very well, this is the architecture of your file. You have the bin, you have the boot, you have the etc file, you have the user, you have the var, you have the sbin. Now, at any day on your own, you should be able to take a pen and paper and actually, so as I'm actually showing you theoretically, I'll be actually showing it to you practically. sorry, I think this is, let me backdate my system so that, so for those who are asking me, how do I, this stuff has expired, I'm actually doing it in real time so that you can see. You come here, you backdate to the time you install the system. You come here, you power on. See, it's powering on. Back. So we are taking, it's something different. We are going in depth into the line. Hello, please, can you just mute your voice, please, so that there'll be a lot of people in the training today. So for those who said their stuff, you see, it's back on. I backdated. So you just log in. Let me clear my screen. So what you did was like just showing you basics. Now this is what it is. This is the Linux hierarchy file system. Fully understand navigating Linux file hierarchy. That's the first thing you should know. Now, if we want to actually from here go to what? Bin. You want to see what is in it. ULS. So these are the files in it. You should be able to actually navigate these files very well. What I mean is, with your pen and paper, I think I drew something here. You should be able to actually, I don't know if you can see this from your camera. Can you see this? This is it. So you should be able to actually break it down.
You can't see anything. You are not sharing it on the screen. We are only looking at your computer screen.
Are you seeing? I can't show it on the screen. I'm just trying to show you your camera. Are you seeing this on camera? Are you seeing it on my laptop camera? Hello, can you all hear me? Hello, can you all?
Yes, you've not shuttered us from the laptop, from the WhatsApp.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. So the Linux, when navigating Linux file command is actually not the first thing you need to know about the Linux system. This is what you need to know. At any time, you should be able to actually break down. I've said hello to you all if you are there. So you should be able to break down the Linux system. So if you walk into any place and they tell you what are the components of the root, when you enter the root, this is how the root is broken down to. Now, you hear people say, when I'm downloading, I want to actually put my files in the opt file. The opt file is under the etc file. Now, you know that the etc file, those are what you look at the architecture of the Linux system very well. You understand it very well. So if you are attacking anybody or you are trying to actually do something, you know where to actually eat and know that the person will know. So understanding the file system makes the architecture easy for you to actually manipulate. All we did in that prerequisite, it was a prerequisite training. While we're going this deep, you will not be taking Linux training anymore, even at the simulator level, because they are basics. Let me show you our website so that you can see what we do. It will be very clear from there. Now, this is our... So this is... Oh, sorry. 1 minute. So if you don't change the date back, it will actually, you'll not be able to access internet. So once you do it, you come back to real-time dates. This April change. So you should be able to access. So this is what we'll be looking at. Now, if you see, this is our website. This is the Specto you've been seeing. So this is training. Now, this is training. When you come down to training, you see that those Linux fundamental and Python fundamental, they are basic. Sorry, 1 minute. Can you, somebody is actually leaving. Can you mute your, everybody should mute your mic, please. Now, these are what basic trainings. Now, in this defense, this is offensive. Now, you'll be taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then either one of these two hits. That makes you what? A composite defense and attack personnel. Now, if you are in the conference we had on Saturday, please, it's my screen. Can you all see my screen? Somebody saying blur screen. Okay, so now that makes you a composite. So we don't want to waste your funds doing this. We want to actually take you this year while you just move straight to defense and attack. So having said that, that means you're not coming back to take Linux fundamental or introduction to cyber or Python fundamentals anymore. You're just moving to network research, network SOC analyst, penetration testing, threat hunting, network security, malware analysis, cyber warfare, offensive Python, or web app security. So while we are leaving these forensics out, it's majorly restricted to some sectors. So we don't want to limit you or waste. We want to actually open you up now. As you go up and you now see that maybe, okay, you want to actually concentrate your energy to the banking sector, you might now come back and actually take forensics. You want to work for the government, EFCC, military, SSS, as the case may be. You come, they're the one who actually use this particular for you're seeing very well, because they're always investigating and looking at things very well. Now, back to what we're saying. So your ability to actually understand this as it is. 1 minute. Let me get out the it has not been saved as PDF. I think it's blurred. Let me save it as PDF first to see if we can have a better picture of it. Okay. Is it clear enough? Or I should just come here. Okay. So we'll start with the root. The root is actually broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 arms. Now, the first one is what? /bin. Now, the bin is what? They are what? Essential binaries. So we have the first word. The root is broken down. So you should be able to actually explain it this way. Broken down into 7 components. So you have access to this training note components. one. The first one is what /bin. Now, if you are actually writing the batch file, you've written different batch files. Now, you notice when you write say /bin.batch. Now, when you now come here, those are the files you actually are relating with. They call them shells. So now you call something Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. So what you are doing is actually looking at the components of what the Linux stuff. Because if somebody is you're going to meet expert attackers. You're going to, because if you really are, talk is cheap. We've had a lot of people who talk a lot. Now, if somebody is going to pay you, I'm sure you guys are working, and you know that the person who is paying you is actually not paying you because he likes your face. He pays you because you can deliver value. Now, if you really have to deliver value and be paid well, you must understand it from the root concept, holistical view of what the Kali Linux does. So the first what is bin. Now we can, from what we've known, we can look at this particular file in different ways. You can see it's actually much. Now, if you're looking at the bin file, you'll be seeing a lot of stuffs in it. Now, if I say locate the harvester, I think the harvester here, I saw it just now. I don't know if I'm actually. I don't know why it's not bringing it out, but I saw the harvester now. So most of the labs you'll be doing, they are located in the bin file. So the bin file is actually a major part of the root. So as you scroll to it, you'll be seeing, it houses the kernel. It houses a lot of files. Now, when we come down here so that you can get the definitions very well, directory and the bootloader files, the dev files, the etc file, the opt file, configuration file for add-on packages that are stored, configuration file for catalogs, for softwares that's processed. So you should be able to understand all these things. And when you are talking to people, you will call something standard industry definition. Now, there is something about having the hands-on, you can do it. But when you are talking, you are not using the right industry terms to relate what you're doing. So people will feel you have not passed, you don't know what you're saying. And secondly, that is the benefit of what certification. That's what certification gives you. So we are trying to actually merge the cons of hands-on training by actually bringing what? The theoretical part for you to actually learn what you're actually doing practically. You understand? So when they talk about directories and descriptions, now under the root, you have about 7 components that can be broken to. That is what you are looking at. So you have the boot log, you have the bin, you have all those stuffs, and the definitions are actually here. Non-essential command binaries, not needed in single user mode for all users. So that is what in the bin file. Non-essential command binaries not needed in the single user mode. So those are the files you are seeing here. Now, when we come back, we can say clear, come back to this place. Clear. So we want to actually look at ls. So these are the boot up files you have, ls/la. Now, when you come back to this, so you should be able to understand the file system of what? So the boot file is what? Bootloader files. So if somebody wants to actually damage a particular system, after he logs in, what is he going to play with? He's going to come here and actually what? plays the file. Now, what part actually houses? I think we've done something like this. Let me see the dot, then cat. Let's see dot shadow. I think we've done something like this, and I told you this particular stuff. These are the hash. This is what if anybody is attacking a system, once they pick this, they can actually crack it and actually hack into your system. You get to see that. Now, the next thing we'll be looking at what is the etc file. So when you come here, you see the definition of the etc file. Or specific wide configuration files. So those are the details. Now, the etc file actually houses what configurations of your password. That's the detailed part of the etc file. Those are things you read up on your own, and we actually have a test on it. Now we move to the next part. If I clear my screen, we move to the .user. So you can actually start looking at what's in each of those particular stuff. You can ls. You see, you are back to bin. So let's cd again to /user. If you ls /la, so it gives you all you have there on the user file. You have the sbin, you have the local, you have. So when you come to this architecture, you should be able to actually understand the components. The training goal of this particular first week is when you look at the Linux file, you should be able to, you see local share bin include lib sbin. So let's come here. Are you seeing it? Let's clear. Let's ls. So local share include sbin. So you are seeing it the way it's here. It is here. Local share bin include library, then sbin. So these are the libraries. Local sbin share include. Let's see what games you have in it. Is that in G? Okay. There's no games in it. So let's clear. So I don't know if you are following me, just tell me yes. Because maybe I'm just talking to myself. I actually really want us to relate with what is here and what we're doing. On the WhatsApp, please, are you following? Because everybody is quiet. Are you following? Okay, good. So let's look at what is in bin. Okay. Let's look at what is in bin. Let's see the dot dot. What's the problem with your system? Are you using Huawei? Can you restart? So let's take it afresh so that we can actually fully grasp it, because at the end we all should be able to actually break it down without actually looking at any book and actually let me see if there are questions here. It is blur. I'm working on Linux, not Windows. We are looking at the components of the Linux. We are looking at the components of the Linux. We are looking at the components of the Linux. So we are starting this particular stuff again. I'm trying to make it. So some people are saying it's blur. Sorry, let me see if I can pick a more clearer picture. Okay. That's the challenge. If you enlarge it, it blurs it. Okay, let's concentrate please on the top figure so that we can actually, I think this is better. It's a little bit better. You can see cat. So the first thing we're looking at is essential binaries. Now, I try to explain that we should be able to explain the Linux architecture with this. Now, if I say cd /bin ILS. Now, let's relate this to what we have. Sorry, 1 minute. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Who is there? Is it Generation Supreme? Is there a challenge? In your internet there. Then it's a local problem with your side, not here now. I'm in the training. I will share the video with you, please. So we have the .bin. Now, when you see cat, you see change mode is there. You see shown. You see data. You see echo. You see false. You see host name. You see kill. You see ln. You see login. You see ls. You see make directory. So most move directory, remove directory. All those commands, sh, all those commands are under the bin. Now, when you come here to look at it from the Linux hierarchy, so that is what you see. So let's clear. So you should be able to actually get used to exploring the Kali Linux this way. You come back, clear. Okay, good. So cd bin. So please, can we take some time to explore this so that you show me? So there are about 421 800 files here. 421 800 files. You can still come back. You can exploit using different. I don't know if I explained this type of files to you people. You can still come back and explore doing like this. Let me clear. LS, LH. So I think you see it more better this way. If you look at it, if you view the files this way. So you can take your time to get used to the files. So this way. So 421, 412, sorry. So you are seeing the size of all. I believe we have explained this part very well. So for those, okay, I will slow down. Somebody is saying I should slow down a bit. So I will slow down a bit. Now, I believe we have explained this. When you see L, is actually pointing to what? A directory. Now, when you see this dash, they are all files. Now, this RWX, they are what? Read, write, executable. And we have shared how you can actually change them. I think I've shared that file. I don't know if I've shared it with the old team, but I've shared how you can change it from one to the other. So I think you'll be doing that, not to sweat. You'll be doing that when next week we'll be treating what commands. So you'll be looking at commands one more time. Now this week is for you to understand the whole comprehensive architecture of what Linux. So on the bin file, you have about 412,000 different files. So it's an information you should actually have. So on the bin, it's about 412,000 files. So when you are, sorry. So when we leave the bin, let's now look at the boot up. When you are booting up cd / ... Now clear. So we look at it. I will restart it so that you will have so the bin has about 412K files. Okay, to navigate to bin, all you just need to do, you cd/bin, you navigate to bin from your root. Now this, you have to log in from the root, not as Kali, to look at all this, because what we are looking at this is we are looking at the root architecture. Sorry, I was thinking everybody knows now. Anytime you log into root, they're looking at what components does the root have. Now you have the bin directory, you have the now. Let's come back so that you get it clearly. Let me come back. This is root. When you ls, what does it give you? Let me remove. I want to actually move all what is not there before. Now, all this other thing you are seeing, they are not there. Let me move. Okay, it's gone. Let me do like this first, so that I will know what can be moved at once. So if you look at it from this point of view, you see all what there's been. Okay, 1 minute, please. So once you navigate using ls, the /la, you see the total number of files. Are you seeing it here? Total. Now, if you actually do ls/la, you will be seeing bin, boot, dev, etc, home. Now, this in packet was installed. Are you seeing it? Now, when you come back to this, it's the same thing here. When you come back here, you are seeing bin, boot, etc, user, var, sbin, temp, dev. When you do, you'll be seeing all those as you scroll down. Are you seeing it? Opt file. Are you seeing the var file? var, user. Are you seeing sbin, run, root, proc? All this mic.txt, we created it. IP switch, it was created. IP list.txt. So all these ones in directory. Now, when you see D, like I said, they are all directories. Now, the L, they are file. Now, all these ones we created, the ones you are seeing in blue are the system file. Can you actually do that on your own system? Navigate your root, ls your root, and compare it to what you have on this architecture, so that you can better understand it. So I will share these files with you people so that you can read it. Are you getting it? So it's good you understand the file system of what you are treating. So for those who ask, how can you know the number of files? All you just need to do, let me clear again. Normally, when you come into your root, this is the way it is. When you ls, now when you ls /la, so if somebody is there, how do you get to the bin file? You know that as you are coming in, you actually get to it from root. Now, one of the things I will advise you is this. Why we started the master class this Saturday, we'll be doing what? We'll be bringing an HR person so that you will hear what and what do they look for before they actually hire a senior cybersecurity professional. We'll be inviting an HR person, we'll be inviting some students. Some of our students, like you, will actually go and tell them what they benefited from this training so far. So we're having another conference this week. The message will be, so we want you to get used to the sector you want to get into. Apart from being trained, get exposed to it. You can actually Google and look for interview questions concerning roots, what they will ask you. You understand? Because when you are talking about, it's not just hands-on. You've written a script. You should be able to explain it now. So all these things that you are seeing here, when you come back to this architecture, that is what is showing you. Are you getting it? So they are already in the root. Now, if you want to navigate from it, or you do what you want, you change directory to those things inside the directory. And we've done that before. So you see, this is a more detailed So you change directory, bin is there. Are you seeing it? Mr. Tohid Adekunle, can I understand your question better? Have you... Yes, there's no home in root. There's no home in root. It's only Kali that you're at home, Mr. Solomon. It's only when you log into Kali that you're at home. Once you log into root, all you have is you have logged in as an administrator. This is what you'll be saying. So when you okay, I'm actually in bin. Let me come back to root. When you log into root, you are not at home. It's only when you actually you are root. How do you know you are root? Who am I? You are root. Are you getting it? So I'm sure you have changed your system to log in as root. So let me pause a bit and actually take questions, please. So if I have to explain from the scratch. Okay, Mr. Toyib, you have to have a 1 hour session personally with me for me to bring you up to speed to that question you are asking. You understand? Everybody here, you see, I've taken a prerequisite training. You are just coming in today. So that's why I told you to actually call back by 5 p.m. Unfortunately, you did not call back. We would have actually looked at it, install, then you now see how you navigate. You take some prerequisite basic commands, then you get used to it. Everybody you see here can write a bad script. So this is not that first stage training. This is what a more technical training where they are looking with more in-depth what they are being trained. They want to understand what they are being trained so that when you talk, people see experience in what you talk. Now, from the first thing today, we know that in the bin file, in the root, when you get to root, there are about 7 files you get there. You see the bin, the boot, the etc, the user file, the var, the sbin, the temp, the dev, the home files is there. Then you see what the opt and the opt file. You can get the opt to there. When you navigate, you get the body bin, the boot, the etc. I think the best thing to do is, can you actually ls your root, screenshot it and show me on the screen so that you can be saying it? So these are things that should be ordinary on your system. Like you're looking at me, I bring out a book like this. I draw this under my root. I should have /bin /what boot /what var user /what var /what sbin, then /what etc. Now that's the first stage. You should be able to do that before you now start breaking the var file. It should be what in your head. Then the one you know is there's a temp file, there's a dev file, like this. I don't know if you guys have seen me on the camera. You're able to do something like this with your pen and paper. You understand? So it sinks into your system. Are you getting it? So that you are no longer cramming, you now know what is in. So when you come here, practically, you want to actually get to this thing, all you do from root, you know what? You do ls. You'll be seeing it. That's bin, that's boot, that's dev, that's etc, that's home. Are you seeing all those stuff? That's what? Opt, that's root. So all these things you are seeing here, they are really under what? In your what? File hierarchy. All these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 13, they are all there. Now, when you start looking inside them, now how you move, when you move inside, this is what you see. Clear? Clear? When you now say CD/bin, now you want to look into bin very well. When you ls bin, this is what is in bin. This is all you are seeing here. Sorry, 1 minute. That's all you are seeing here. Are you with me? So all this from here down to here, that is what you're seeing. Let's look at it. Let's see if we can actually, let's say ls, let's clear. Let's pick out cat, clear. So ls/lh, let's see. So if you go up, so are you seeing cat? Are you seeing what? Cap. Now, what you should notice that you see that the cat is actually an execution file. Are you seeing? So you see, that's how you understand the file structure at this stage. So all those things you see there, they are here. So the first takeaway from this is for us to be able to define and understand when you come to root, what is it broken down to? Bin, boot, etc, user, var, sbin, temp, dev, home, library, empt, opt, and root. How do you investigate that? You just come here, clear. If you know it this way, there's nowhere you go to, then you so everything is here. Every other thing you've seen is a file we created on our own. So most of those things are there. If I want to remove all those stuff, I can say remove. Sorry. It's done. Okay, remove. They've all gone. So I'm trying to bring, let me ls. Let me clear. I'm trying to bring it back to what you're saying. So let me see what other file is there again. It's only IP switch. Sorry, Mrs. Grace, Miss Grace, can you tell me I'm observed in? Okay. All right. I now understand the problem you guys are having. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, I did not explain it this way. Now, when you get to root, this is what root is, please. When you get to your root, this is what you'll be saying. Please, my mistake. Mr. Solomon, you are right, please. Now, when you get to root, you do cd dot dot. It takes you what to the base file, to the system files. Please, my mistake. So from the system file, you can clear. So it's from here you can able to actually access what all the root file. This is where you have all those files. So I can remove this desktop from here. Sorry. So these are the system files. This is what you see. Now ipstrip.sh, then this is what you see. I believe you guys, everybody can navigate. At least let's all navigate to this place. Now this one brings me back to the main root. This is home root. I actually skipped. So this is home root. This is my home root. Now when you want to get to where I am, you do cd dot dot. It brings you to this place. So this is where you have the system file. Sorry. This is where you have your system file. So Miss Grace, I don't think okay, Mr. Solomon, have I answered your question now? This is your home root. Sorry. Clear. So if you want to get to where I am, you move backwards, then you now ls. It shows you all your system files. This is what it's showing you. I've installed InPacket. That is why you are seeing InPacket there. So Mr. Solomon, please, can you confirm if I've been able to answer your question? Mr. Isiaka, are you following us? Hello, are you guys still following me? You can chat on WhatsApp. I'm trying to respond to the question you have on WhatsApp. So somebody said, I observed that Dodge first large bin. Because from here, if you see the slash bin, this is what it shows you. You are in bin. When you ls it, this is what it gives you. When you clear, it's what ls dash la. It shows you all the file in it. So this is how you navigate up to this place. This is where you have your system file. So what it is on the laptop is simply this. Now, if I go to my computer, this is my this PC. If I open here, I see there are Windows file. These are all you are looking at. Are you seeing it? That is what you are looking at here. I get it. So the topic of the is Linux file system hierarchy. Are you with your system? Are you with is your system on? Are you, Mr. Isaka, is your Linux system on? Is every other person following? Solomon, are you following us? Is your Linux system on? What we are at our topic is Linux file system hierarchy. Okay, if it's on, are you on your root page like this? Are you logged in as root? Clear. Because I think I'm having some assumption. Then if I say cd dot dot, it's not going back. Now all you need to do is what? Come back to root. So we are now root. We are root. Linux file system hierarchy. Yes, Mr. Isiaka, we are starting from the scratch. You understand? What they did at that other time was navigating Linux command file, commands. Now, this is the course before you take command files. You must understand the file system hierarchy. Now, are you logged in as root? Just tell me yes or no. If you are not logged in, then this is not the class to start teaching you how to log in. Now, if everybody's Mr. Solomon, yeah, that's back to root. Now, to move back from where you are, Mr. Solomon, all you need to do is the woodward cd what dot dot. You come back to this place. Are you getting it? So cd dot dot brings you back to this place. From that place, now, so once you have gotten to the place where you have a forward slash, when you ls, it shows you all what we are trying, the file system hierarchy. Now, please locate the file system hierarchy, screenshot it, and send it to me. I think we should start from there. Sorry, locate the file system hierarchy, screenshot it, and actually send it to me. Okay, that's it. So that's the file system hierarchy. Mr. Godwin, you want to. I said locate this particular. Let me screenshot the challenge I'm having. It. We are the laptop on actually on different systems. But let me see if I can share it directly with you guys on the. Okay, that's it. So I think let's make it more practical. Locate it and actually now navigate into all those components. By moving from that place, you will say change directly to bin, change directly to dev, change directly to home. You understand? Navigate around it. Navigate around it. Let me see if I can paste it here. So I have actually pasted it. It's pasted. It's not pasting. So navigate around that. Now move from where you are. Say cd bin. See what is in bin. You can ls. When you ls, you come back from bin to that part. You clear. So navigate around it. Now you ls again. Okay, you can go to dev. Dev. You ls. What is in dev? Are you seeing it? So you can come back again, clear your screen, ls. Okay, let's see what is in boot. cd bot ls. Are you seeing it? Good. You come back. Now, as you are looking at it, you compare it with this diagram that you're looking at. You compare it with the diagram. The diagram breaks down everything. So you can navigate to what? etc file. You are in boot. You can cd what? Dot dot. Where is etc? Cd etc file. What is in etc file? You ls. Are you seeing all that is in etc file? So you go back to those definitions to actually see. So it contains what? So that shows you what it contains. You come back, clear your screen, ls one more time. What else you want to look at? You can look at the op file, you can look at root, you can look at sbin, you can look at var, you can look at user, you can look at proc. The rest people, I don't know. We have about 12 people here. Are you all with your systems? Or you just came? We have about 12 people here, 11 people here. Mr. Gbola or Mr. Divine Adamasi. Just me, Wale, have you been able to actually log in? Because I said there is no Mr. Akishola. You guys are not snapping your screen. Okay. Okay. So please, that is you need to be. I want you guys to go this deep now, because some of the files you'll be doing, some of the scripts you'll be doing, you save them what in the opt file. Okay, I understand. I understand, Mr. Now you save them in the opt file. Now, if you want to, let's say cd ... clear. Now, I see. Now that breach pass. Okay, that's it. Yeah, you got it right. That's it. Now the breach pass file. Let me clear this. Now let me come back to this place so that you see something. Now clear. Okay. Let's ls. You see we have breach pass. Okay. If I nano breach pass .sh so that you can see that now this particular stuff is actually saved. Are you see the location? Please, can you see this place? Opt.breachpass. It was saved in the opt file. Are you getting it? So if you are actually breach data, the where the data was downloaded what to the opt file. So if you don't actually put this stuff nowhere to actually write it from, so this particular script should be located where in the opt location for it to actually work. Control X. You understand? So if I move this, I'm not sure it's going to get there. Let's see if it's there. It did not get there. I said it did not get there. It's still here. So ordinarily, this is where you, so if you want to write the file, you do nano breach pass . This is where you write the script. Sorry, Control X. This is where you write and save the script in the opt folder, in the opt directory, Control X. So let me clear. So that is why you should understand your file hierarchy very well. Some of those commands, actually some of those scripts, it tells you where you should actually load the script from. It won't work in any of the directories except it's what the opt file. So that's why you see at that point in time I did not actually run the script. But as we are going, before we finish this, long, you would have actually loaded the script and run it. So you download the data, you download the database into that particular option, so you run it from there. So the location of that file matters. That is why we do not run it. Clear? So let's see the back to root. I will pause a bit and let's actually take questions so that we can fully understand. So what we are looking at is what? Linux file system hierarchy. And so far, we've been able to tell you that anytime you sit down, you'll be able to look at the command, the Linux file system in this order. Now, to get there, you navigate backwards. Clear. ULS. It shows you this. So what you'll be taking tomorrow is Python. So let me just, I'm sure I have it. No, let me see. No, I don't have nothing else. CD, /root. I have ls. I have some Python scripts already written. Clear. So what you do is gedit. So we've already done that. Py. So all these scripts have already been written. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to cover. It's no time for joke. You understand? So this is Python. So this is where you start from before we now start. So we'll look at Linux very well before we now move to Linux hacking. Those few information that you lack, you need to know them. So these are the basics of Python before we now move to what? Python hacking. So you should have written most of the tools of the codes before we actually get to the simulator training. As I said, it's no longer new to you. So when you see a particular task, you can now automate it using Python ordinarily. That is what it means. So there's a lot that needs to be done that you are just starting off. It's a journey. So it's a journey, it's a long journey. So it's good you start with the right foundation. That is why we are coming back to tell you that when you look at Linux file, this is what it is. Like you look at your computer, Windows, you should be able to actually understand you in depth. At some point in time, you look at the Windows, they call it the Windows kernel. Because all you'll be doing, because you are just starting, it's now, I was listening to an offensive Python lecture yesterday. Now, because at the offensive, all you are trying to do is frustrate the IT of the so all you are trying to do is actually frustrate the IT infrastructure of the target. Now, instead of attacking the target, they went to start attacking the infrastructure of the target. That means where they get their cloud infrastructure, they started injecting what? SQL. So looking at some SQL injection. So that's offensive Python. That is why I said it's either we change what you are doing to what at the training level. It's either when you do offensive Python. When you click on offensive Python, this is what offensive Python is. So you see Scapy. Now, this Scapy will teach you, you will learn how to actually do what? ARP spoofing. So if I come here, Control C. So this is your app table. As you can see, my MAC address and the interface. So when they say app spoofing, is what they actually spoof the app, and there is you now become the man in the middle. You actually now, if we have 10 devices, now all those devices are communicating with me, thinking they are communicating with what? The server. I am manipulating the app, and I'm actually now sending them information, I'm extracting all the password. So this app spoofing gives you what they call it packet crafting, what it takes to become the man in the middle. So you might be actually thinking you are communicating with your server. There is somebody in the middle who is actually spoofing the app. You will learn how to use Python. You will even learn this before you go to the simulator training. So how to use Python, it's actually Scapy is actually on your Linux, but that's manual. You learn Scapy on the Python, how to use Scapy to actually spoof app. That's your app register. And the app, the ARP for the Mac is almost the same thing. So they will actually be thinking you are the watch router. So there's a lot to do. That's why we're ensuring that you understand where you are going to. Back to today's lecture. Please, I'll need you guys to play around this and send me your screen. So that's why we said there's no need wasting your time repeating the same thing so that makes this training more serious. So we expect that people should have made their payment from now till Wednesday. Commitment. And the videos of this training are sent to those only who have made payments. So that is it. There's a lot to learn so that you understand why we do this Saturday, so that it's no longer child's play. You understand that there is actually a skill gap need. And the skill gap need is no joke. It's because people with people with the skill are actually not readily available. Okay, people with skill gap need are not readily available. So there is a need for you to actually hello, Mr. Kishola, you want to ask a question? Understand clearly how to build capacity within this sector. Now, you should give yourself timing. You should give yourself space. There's nothing you do. You don't arrive in the tech industry. You don't arrive all of a sudden. You arrive with time. Now, if you look at people, I will show you somebody was actually, so that you understand how you build technical capacity and you build what. Now, if you look at somebody was actually in the training, he's a PhD holder with CISSP, but it's actually in the blue team. You understand? Now, for companies, in case you don't know what we are trying to build, countries like America, UK, US, UK, they will not allow easily a Nigerian to come and work in sensitive positions of what cybersecurity, so that you can understand the stigmatization already. So the only way we can rectify it from here is to give you what? A security clearance. So after training you, you pass through some level of character test or character endorsement by the law enforcement agency from Nigeria here, added to your resume. Cybersecurity is not just ordinary IT. It's a fourth warfare domain. So they don't just allow anybody from anywhere to work remotely in sensitive companies around the world that does not have what? Character. What are you people responding to? I don't know. Somebody's saying yes, yes, yes. So I'm just trying to explain the other nitty-gritty. So there is a time to build capacity. So from now till June, you should learn, or October, November, December, as the case may be. It's no longer playtime. You get stick in this thing. All these files, you should know them. You should be able to write this thing with your words. Start preparing for your first interview because you get one. How to write all these things the way it is. You understand? It should be part of your system. This is what you want to do for the rest of your life. You should be able to actually get them done. Are you with me? So those are the things we should do. I don't know. I'm seeing people are saying they're having internal server problem. Is it only here, or maybe were you having issues when you are trying to register? Because 2 people has complained. You can chat with me on WhatsApp. Let's take a pause before we spend the last hour looking at other stuff in it. The training closed 10. So it's going to be a more comprehensive training, because you're going to look at what you're doing holistically this time around. You're not coming back to take Kali Linux. You're not coming back to take Python. So all you need to know on how to code it, on how to write it, you'll be learning it from now till May ending. So it's a very serious class. That's why I said it's more in-depth than what you take. What you take was just a prerequisite. It's just a thriller. This is the main thing. So that when people ask you, what is the Linux file system hierarchy? You are writing it on paper. You are showing them how to navigate and get to the place. That's the difference between somebody with both. Okay, I think Mr. Isaka and Mr. Tawhid, you have to have a 2-hour session with me from tomorrow so that we can actually rectify your fault. I think, yeah, I think we have a 2-hour session so that we can actually, so that you can get, you can come get up to speed. But we are retaking the class. It's just that we are looking at it from an advanced form, not that basic. Not that basic. I think you've not been following the class. That's why you're having problem. You've not been following the class. So having said that, let's go back and actually look at the other parts of the files. Now let's ask ourselves a question. If somebody wants to actually log in, he logs into your, these are the things you should know. He logs into your system. Which part of the system now, not just knowing them, understanding what each part of the system holds. Which part of the system actually handles what? Login. When people log into your system, it shows you what login holds. The log file is the var. The var files holder. Now, when you navigate to var file, now, if person has acting to see, he wants to erase his track, it's the var file. When you ls, it shows you what? Log. Now, when you ls to log, when you cd to log, are you seeing? It shows you all the log into the system. You can actually cd to what? auth.log. Auth directory. Then how do we check it? ls auth.log. auth.log. cat auth.log. Are you saying? I don't know if you guys just saw what I did. So those are the things we'll be looking at intricately. Somebody who comes into the system, if you want to check how many people have actually logged into your system, this is where these are your log files. It shows you when people have actually logged into this file, who logged in. So this is where it comes to what? Erase his track. You understand? So if you notice, this is Samba. You'll be using this. Okay, sorry. Some people are typing something. Let me see what you are typing. Okay. What stopped? Are you saying you want to get the how will I put it? You want to get the lecture note? I'll share the lecture note with you, but I'm actually showing you practicals. I'll come again with what I'm saying because I'm supposed to treat one and show you the relevance of each of why you need to know those stuff. Let me close this. Let me clear. Let me come back. Let me come back. Now, let me ls. Now, let me ls /LA. I believe we can all get to this place. Now, we've looked at the bin file. What is in the bin file? And we understand that from here. Let's take it step by step so that we can now look at. I'm just explaining. I want to now start telling you application question. How people come in now. The bin file simply does what? Non-essential command libraries not needed in the single user mode for all users. Now it contains so if somebody gets to your bin file, what exactly will he see? So you see the bin. Mr. Akiyode, please, can you type on WhatsApp and let me properly understand your question? I don't know, before I move on, let me answer your question. So while it's typing, if we do ls, these are all you have in your bin files. You understand? When you look at it clearly, you understand, you see that they are mostly installation files. Now, when you clear, now we have the boot. When you cd to boot, these are boot up files. When you, sorry, let me come back from, then when you cd to boot, these are what boot files, what it used to actually load up. So when we cut, let's cut any of them. Grub. These are files. So ls/LA so that you look at it. So let me copy. I can copy this. So I can copy this. So the best way is to experiment. You are no longer looking at it like you are looking at it. You cut. So you see, it shows you everything. So if somebody is coming to attack the system or it doesn't want it to actually, so these are the kernels. It comes to, yeah, we have, I will share the note with you. That's I'll share the note with you after the class so that you can actually look at it. But the explanation is key. You understand? The explanation. Okay, I understand. I will share the lecture note with you. So do you prefer, it's because most people are actually not, some people are not, maybe we share the lesson notes with you people before the class. So I will share this, we'll look at it on Wednesday again so that we can actually run through it from the scratch. Now, the person, so you know all these commands already, now you can play with it. Are you seeing? So that particular, you see there are configuration files that these are where you don't alter. If you alter it, the stuff will not boot up anymore. I don't know who actually called me one day that we altered the boot up process of the Kali. Then we now actually reset the root password. These are where you do that. Are you getting it? So these are the files you actually, that's the boot, you alter the boot up process. Now, when you come back, you should understand what all these things are in depth, and if manipulating them, what it could do to a system. Now, I was actually trying to actually talk about the var file because the var talk about logs. Now, if somebody hacks into your system, how you actually trace his footstep is what the var file. You understand? So when you ls the var file, you see what? You see log. Now, when you ls log, it shows you what is in it. Now, auth.log, when you ls auth, authentication.log, it shows you when somebody logs in. Sorry. What's happening? Okay, I have to. Okay. Sorry, I've not changed to. So when you ls auth.log, now you can cut what is in auth.log. That's read it. So it shows you all the times I have logged in as the user. Session closed for removed session 13. Are you seeing when you go back up? Sorry. When you scroll back up, it shows you all the logs in the system. Are you seeing it? So what we call this, what we call session. By the time you come to backdooring, you now see how you manage multiple sessions from your what command control center. So you actually manage multiple sessions. So this is it. So this is how you know that maybe somebody logged in from your system or somebody does not logged in from your system. You understand who logged in. So this is where you actually check all the stuff. The other commands used to actually do that, we'll be looking at that. So if we actually still ls this particular, what else can we explore? Let's cut bootlog. Boot.log. So there's nothing in it. When you cut it, there's nothing in it. So there's a lot you can play around. What's the batch file? No. You are not getting what I am saying. Now, somebody can log in into your somebody can log in. That's automation you are talking about. Somebody can log in into your system and erase his footstep. We're not seeing anything. You understand? So we are showing you a comprehensive third-party login. Yeah, we are showing you a comprehensive way of actually looking at the files and seeing if anybody actually erases the file. Are you getting it? Now, if any other person has logged in, it would have actually shown me. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me just show you guys something. Let me backdate this so that you can actually get it. I want to actually bring up my, I want to power up another machine so that I can bring up my change date. So minimize this. New window. Okay. Open. Okay, I think I have it here already. Let me see. So this is my meta spoiled table. So it's for offensive stuff. Let me resume stuff. So this is another machine. While this another machine. Are you seeing this is another system This is another system. So the beauty about VMware, you can set up to 16 systems. So set up your lab and start practicing attacking them. So that those are for people who are not using what you are not using a simulator. So it's booting up. So let me log in. Okay. Okay. The next thing we need to do here is what ls. So that's MSF admin. Now let me see. So I'm back to MSF admin. So I don't know, I showed you guys something on, so I want to see how we can navigate to its root and actually get the, okay. Okay, MSF admin. All right. SSH. So let's clear this so that you can see if there is a third-party login attempt. Clear, so that you can see practical of what clear. Then if I cd cd then cd/root to clear. Now MSF SSH MSF admin at 192.168.249.130. So the password is, I have the password wrong, it will not enter. So I've logged into this system here. So its own commands are different. Now, as you can see, I'm no longer root. I have actually hacked into the system here. Now, so what I wanted to show you is, if you check the login, to show you that it is not this particular table is actually for offensive attacks. So its commands are actually different. So I want to actually show, when we come back to this, let me exit. Clear. So go back to the auth to cd indirectly log to cat auth.log. So it's actually showing login into this system. So when you come here, it will show you login into this SSH. SSH 192.249.22 connection refused. SSH connection refused. So Mr. Solomon, have I been able to answer your question? Jesupe Mwale, are you okay? It's a little bit complex because the command of Metasploit is a little bit different. And if I start doing it now, it's actually does not suit the training purpose. That's actually why I don't want to make it complex. So if we come back to what I'm actually saying, so that we don't lose this training, this part. What I wanted to show is that if you want to check the log, the training we are doing is what? The components of root. Now, under root, you have var. Now, under var hosts what? Log into the, if you see the dot, so that we don't lose. Now, this is var from root. Now, when you ls, you have backups, you have cache, you have library, you have local, you have lock, you have log, you have the opt file there too. Now, if you come back to this, our note, you see it clearly there. Now, when you go to var files, normal operation of the system, such as logs, spool files, temporary emails. Are you getting it? Normal operation of the system. So that is what you find in what? var file. So catch. So that the IO lib. So when you read through these log files, various logs, are you getting it? So mail, user mailboxes, opt, variable data, add-on packages that are stored. So when you are bringing in what? Packages into the system, it's good to store it in the opt file. So I will pause again. If anybody asks questions, we do M&A. Ask all the questions you need to ask. So Mr. Isiaka, let's start from you. Where exactly do you have problem or do you have questions? Because this time around, we don't just come to class. We spend the actual time. We spend the actual time. So I'm with you. I can hear you. Okay. Those are not what we'll be able to actually handle at this point. So we might need to have a class tomorrow to handle that. You've not even installed the Kali Linux. You are way behind. So that is actually why I want. So we don't want this to be happening over and over again. So I want to finish everything Kali Linux and Python for everybody training. You understand? From here, we actually start taking structure. From here, in a group of you be in a group of 10. Now you'll be broken down into a group of 10. You're given a Slack channel where you guys have meeting. You actually start working. You'll be broken down in the group of 10 as their team lead. Now we have this training actually have already about 10 to 12 people. So it's time to take the training very serious. One, like I said, people who will pay you money are not going to pay you for fun. They're going to pay you because you are coming there to actually deliver. You have the capacity to deploy value. You understand? So if you are deploying value, that's the only reason why they'll be paying you. So you must understand what you're doing. So it's not child's play. I hope you understand. So if you are coming there, you have to be able to deploy value. So one, the first things first is that you should be able to actually deploy value. So what we'll be doing is what we'll be doing first is we will review what you're doing, group everybody as you're coming into a group of 10. Like now from tomorrow, I'll group you into the first 10 group. You have your team lead. You have your special WhatsApp handle. You have your special Slack channel. So you start communicating, exchange idea. You'll be given a project to do. You train within yourself. You have your own special tutorial time. That is how we want to manage the class. Then we all meet at the training, so you can actually exchange materials and exchange idea at that level. So we can actually get to you at that way. Okay, Mr. Modesty, you are actually pasting something. Let me see. Okay. I think you're actually going into can people actually tell me what a cage shows you? Because I'm seeing Apache 2. There's nothing in it, so it's empty. So that's simply because, can somebody tell me why that thing is empty? Can somebody tell me why the cage is empty? Now let's see. I'm coming. Let me change this date back so that we can actually see. Can somebody tell me why that cage is empty? Please, it's only in Nigeria you see one-man riot. In advanced country, there's no one-man riot too. Everybody, they bring talents together, they build something great. So that's actually what we want to build the team to be. So in your team, when you are at the team level, you actually bring in materials, you will challenge yourself at the team level so that you actually learn better. Together, everybody achieves more. Now, what? Yeah, it's because I've not been using the system to browse the internet. If I come here now, I do Firefox. I now actually check the internet. Let me open another Firefox. I try to browse maybe Facebook or YouTube. You see, it's a complete laptop, a system on its own. You can actually check everything you want to do on it. Play around, you understand? So when I come back to my terminal, but I don't use it since I have my Windows. You understand? Since I have my Windows, so if I come back and actually say ls, it does. The cache actually shows you history of website visited that are stored there. So in this particular case, this is my web browser. When you come to history, this is my cache. When you come to history, you'll be seeing all the history of the website visited. Are you seeing? So that is what that particular file does. So Mr. Modesty, I don't know if you understand. I don't know what you are looking for there, but that is what that does. So that's what that does. The cache actually does. That's what that particular stuff does. So like what you do within your Windows now, what you do within your Windows, you should understand how to navigate properly the Linux system. You understand? Now, people respect you more in the industry if you can navigate the Linux system. So how you break it down, what have we been able to take away from this training? Now, we've been able to take away that the Linux system consists about, yes, take a screenshot and actually share it. The Linux system consists about this. You have the bin, the boot, the etc, the user, the var, the sbin. So you should be able to navigate, understand where it is, what you can do with them. So that's it. So you should be able to change and navigate all those stuff. So as you are getting to use them, you now know that from the var you can actually get the log files of somebody who actually logs into your system. Can somebody tell me where you get the log files on Windows system? On your Windows. How do you get log files on your Windows? How do you get log files on your Windows? I've not seen anything from Adamasi. You've not actually posted anything. So how do you get to log files? So understanding how you navigate your, like a normal computer, this is a full computer. This is a full computer that you have. You should understand how you navigate it. You can get to the internet from here, but it has powerful tools. You can get to the internet from here. You can actually use all these tools. So all through your career, you'll be looking at how to use all these tools, how to install more tools to it. So those are the things you actually be looking at, how to install more tools to it. So if anybody asks more questions, you can ask. So we'll be splitting this week. We'll have the first group. As we get to 20, we split the second group at the Slack level. So you start knowing what you will do, how you handle questions, when you actually, yes, that's it. So play around it. Be able to write it down this way. Now we know that we have /bin. We know that on the root, we have what? /bin. Sorry. slash bin 1 / bin 2 / boot 3 / etc, the etc file 4 / user 5 / var, then 6 / sbin. Then the rest are on the 7th file, temp dev. How do you get there? cd ... then you just ls. You see everything here. So you should be able to play around it, understand that file before now go back to what? Commands. You understand? This is the first thing. Understand this file, understand how you get to this place, understand how you get to the, how you look at this place, what is here. So you should be able to navigate. This is my desktop. So you'll be able to look at it properly. So these are stuff I've actually installed on the system. So let me come back to my terminal. I'm still waiting to ask for more questions. Anybody who asks questions. So you should be able to write this when you get to anywhere. What are the directories? You have the bin, the boot, the kernels, the shells, the batch. You understand? You should be able to, when we talk about, so tomorrow, while I'm waiting for your questions, tomorrow we'll be taking Python, still on your Kali Linux. We're taking it from the scratch. So what you need to do is to come with your Kali Linux already installed. We'll be using gedit to write what? The Python. We'll look at Python extensively. We will start from writing Python 3 before. Sorry. Okay. You are asking for why do you use LX? I think we've actually treated navigating file system. Now, when you want to look at what is in this particular directory, ls means what? List. It lists what is there. Now, if you, well, in this particular directory, you'll be seeing what? We have files, we have directory. Now, if you want to move from one directory to directory to what? Change directory, that's commands. Now we look at command. I don't know if I'm answering your question. If you want to look at this particular stuff holistically, right? ls / la, it shows you holistically. Are you getting it? So that is actually what we look at. Mr. Jesupe Mwale, I don't know if I've answered your question. Mrs. Grace, I feel the rest people don't have questions because we've not started taking deep stuff. So we'll be looking at more complex stuff, commands, advanced commands, and all those stuff. So what you're asking now, like you have on your system, the root is the administrator. Kali is just a user. You understand? They just call it Kali. You understand? The root is the administrator. Kali is just the user. So there are some things you cannot do as just a user. You have to be logged in as what? The administrator. Do you now understand? So Kali is just like any other user on the system. You can create what? Multiple user. So I don't know if anybody has question. This question and answer time. Yeah, it's default on everybody's. It's default. It's default. It comes default. It comes default. Sorry, is Tawib still here? Is Tawib still here? Or he left? So if I don't know if people still have questions, because by 9:30 we'll be taking the class will be 2 hours. So it's more than a 6-hour class weekly. I'll send that to you. So it's not a problem. I'll send. You don't install Kali, you download it. Download it, then you actually it's a virtual, it's an image. You just actually upload it to the VMware. You don't install it. I'll share the link with you. So we encourage all of you to be serious, and please try to make your payments before 9 a.m. on Wednesday, or we'll pull you out of this platform.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, please. I want to ask this question. Can I navigate within the LS of this? Because you told us one thing in Kali that we can move from one directory to another without coming back home. Can I do the same thing on this route without coming back home? Can I move from ETC to Hot or to SBIN, or from SBIN to BIN without coming back home?
I am doing it already so that you can see it. Okay. So we have LS. So we change directly to what? BIN. Sorry. Did you see why I just did? Mr. Kiyode, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, I can see it now. You can move it.
I've answered your question.
Yes, yes, you have.
Okay, so that's how you move from one of them to the other without actually coming back. You just type that. So any other question, please? So it's an hands-on class. As you're asking the question, we are doing it so that you can see it as it's been done. So because I noticed that when we ask you to do explanation, you cannot communicate the language. So there is standard industry definition. So that when you are talking, people know you know what you are doing. Now, the problem currently in the industry is that most people are what? Software-driven professional. That means there are tools which you can install that does all these things from you. That is what people install on their server. So that's what everybody's monitoring. But you hardly see people who are well-grounded in what you're doing, that you develop your own tools. So that is why we are training you this way. So in the absence of no question, can we actually move this training till tomorrow while we look at Python tomorrow? So we'll be taking a new, people have been saying, when are we starting Python? When are we starting Python? It's a little bit more, how will I put it, in depth. But for those actually just coming in, you might have problem. For those who have written batch, it will be a walkover because you just be actually use, it will be easy to correlate. For those who are just coming in, we have to actually just start them the same way. You have to learn it from the scratch. So we deal more on, okay, Mr. Mitokma, you are trying to ask a question. No. You don't need to install anything. So Claire, this is how you actually come to Python. You just do gedit. You are underestimating the power of Kali Linux. Gedit. Let me just use test. Let me not alter what I've done. Py. You just do what? Batch this /bin /python 3. So you start coding. Sorry. So you start coding. So in that former one, you are using what? Nano. This one, you are using what? Python 3. You are not using .sh. You are using what? .py. You see, it rests under what? SBin. Are you seeing where the shell is? It's under SBin. Now, come back. Let me close this without saving it. Close without saving. Now, it's because what? I am under SBin. Now, when I do what? cd ... So clear. So before you start writing program, understand where do you want to save your files. So if I do what? cd /what root, where do I want to actually put all my Python files? So that if I want to, so ls, I want to put them on documents. Okay, I say cd documents so that I can properly, you understand, and make directory. So make directory Python files. So when you ls, you have Python files. So you can cd to what? Python files. So now start working as if you know what you want to do. Then from here you clear. So you know that in your document you have Python files. So anytime you come, you cannot do a gedit. Test.py. So you see, it's under documents and Python files. So do you guys now understand? So you need to understand what you're doing so that when you meet somebody, you understand what you are doing. So you understand what you are really doing, not just copy and copy. You just come to class, you copy, you paste what you do. So those directories are how you save your files. So let me come back to the root. Understand where you want to cd ... So if you log in as the root, where do you want your Python files to be? Do you want them to be on the desktop? All these things. We have desktop, we have downloads, we have documents, we have all this open lock opt. I'm the one put it there. You have pictures, you have videos, you have templates. So Veil, I installed all those ones. All these directory, I actually created them. Where do you want your what? Python files to be? So you know how to locate them. You navigate to that place, document. Then you do what? You ls. I've already created it. So if you want to actually create Python files, you make directory. So I don't know if I've answered your question. So the Linux you are looking just as if you have a gold. You don't. It's by the time you start using different tools in it. There are hundreds and hundreds of tools. You now know how powerful the tool is. So you can write from here, or you can write. This PyCharm. So, or you can write your Linux from this. So it all depends. But I will use it so that we don't make things too complicated. I will not use PyCharm to train you. This PyCharm. So you can either load your Python from this. I've installed PyCharm, but we write it directly from gedit. Is it? Or you can write from PyCharm. Some people actually write from other platforms. This is PyCharm. It depends on what you are comfortable with. You can write it directly from. So this PyCharm. So it loads the workspace. As you are writing it, it loads the terminal. So we'll call it a day from here. So we'll call it a day from here. We come tomorrow, then we actually take more of what we're doing. So it's still loading. So there, it becomes more interesting as we journey far. We're just scratching the surface. Different tools, different. So the more the tools you know, so you see, it takes some time. So they have to work as a defense person, defense guy for some years. You so that you chew. It's just like somebody who swallowed meat in his mouth. You have to chew it very well. You masticate it very well. Then you now digest it into your system. You now actually chew on. So as you are chewing it, you are absorbing the information. You chew it. You only chew it by working with it. That is why the scenario is very. The more the, I don't know, for those who are in the this thing conference, I asked somebody in the US that how often do you get scenarios attack? He said once in 6 months. That means it's possible that you can be in a company for 2 years. You have not seen any real attack scenario to learn experience from. That is why our Spectre is different. So in this training, you actually encounter at least 16 to 20 scenarios to work with, because there are at least 2 scenarios, real life attack. So it's it's a bundle of experience. A bundle of experience that you come out with. So if you chew those information very well, you are able to actually disseminate them with will on your fingers. I'm sure you will go very far. Very, very sure. Interviews will not be problem. So I think we should end the meeting here. Let's all meet tomorrow by 7:30. I will share the PDFs with you. But try as much as possible to actually make your payments before 9 a.m. on Wednesday. So thanks all for coming for the meeting. Now, the training goal for this particular first week is for you to be able to break down the Linux file hierarchy into this. You'll be able to break it down, understand it, go to the system and actually get it done the way you're seeing it here. So thank you. And we look forward to meeting you on tomorrow for the Python class.